So imagine you just witnessed a car accident, right? And then sometime in the future, you get asked by, let's say, a police officer, how fast were those cars going when they smashed into each other, right? Have an estimate in your mind. And then, what if I change the question to how fast were those cars going when they bumped into each other? Would your estimate of the speed change, even though the event that you witnessed was the exact same? Well, that's the question that Elizabeth Loftus and John Palmer explored in 1974. And this is a classic study, the Loftus and Palmer eyewitness testimony study, that shows that how even a single word can influence our memory of an event that occurred. So, how did they test this? They got a bunch of participants to watch short films of car accidents. Nothing too extreme, but sufficient enough to get their attention. Then they were asked a simple question. How fast were the cars going when they, and then there was a blank line, each other. Now this blank line was filled with different verbs of varying intensity, right? So smashed, collided, bumped, hit, or contacted. So it was the same video, but a different word was used to describe the extremity of the contact. Now, the hypothesis or the research question was, would it change? Would a change of the verb used change how people remembered the crash? And it did. It did a lot. People who heard the word smashed on one extreme estimated that the average speed of the collision was, the cars were going around 41 miles per hour. And those who heard the word contacted on the other extreme estimated about 30 to 31.5 miles per hour. Now that's a big difference. So what do these results suggest? Overall, it suggests that memory is suggestible. Remember, memory is not this, video recorded capture of things that occur, but rather a reconstruction of various pieces of information. And that how we're asked to remember a certain event can be biased by how that question is phrased, smashed or hit. And second, that being asked a question, so, information that is received after the event has occurred alters that memory representation. Participants who are asked the question with the verb smashed received or reconstructed that memory differently to participants who received the verb hit or bumped into. And that's an important finding. And the results didn't stop there, right? We're moving on to the broken glass experiment. Here, another bunch of participants, 150 participants, were shown this 1-minute film. And in this film, a car was driving through the countryside, and then for about a minute, and then this was followed by 4 seconds of multiple traffic accidents. Now, these 150 participants were split into 3 different groups. 50 were given the instruction or the question, how fast was the car going when they hit each other? 50 were given the instruction, how fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other? And then there was a control group, which didn't receive any question asking them to estimate the speed. So remember, looking at how our memory can be altered based on the post hoc information received after the event. Then participants were asked, did you see any broken glass? Now keep in mind, there was no broken glass in the video. All participants saw the same video, no broken glass. And if you thought, well, perhaps the group that was, received the more extreme verb to describe the collision, they would be more likely to suggest they would see broken glass, because I would imagine that cars going faster would, result in broken glass. Well, you would be right, because 32% of the participants in the smashed group said yes, there was broken glass, And this was, more than double both the hit group and the control group. So that's a statistically meaningful increase in the amount of participants who said they saw broken glass when there was none, which reinforces the idea that our perceptions of an event are influenceable. It can be influenced by the information that we received, even if that information is just a question, a response bias question. So the study gave us the term the misinformation effect. So it's the idea that memory can be distorted by the way a question is asked when we're asked to reconstruct that memory. So remember that our brain doesn't destroy events like a camera, right? It reconstructs them using new information that is received after the event, even misleading words or questions asked with a certain bias. So it's, as you can imagine, it's a huge deal for witness testimony in general. Imagine if a police officer was asking, "Did you see the guy with the gun?" And if there was no gun, this question could potentially alter the memory that a participant has of an event so that now all of a sudden the guy had a gun, and which changes the severity of the crime hugely. So, what's the takeaway here? The takeaway is that the Loftus and Palmer study taught us a very important lesson. If we change a word, we could potentially change a memory. So the next time somebody is recalling some event, ask yourself, are they remembering what happened? Or are they remembering what they were led to believe happened? Big question. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.